Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, evolution of podcast shows, and many more things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, first and foremost, a big thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who really make this podcast possible. Without your generous and continuous monthly donations, I would not be able to continue creating episodes, and we're now at episode 220 because of you. So big thanks to everyone, and thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, week in and week out. And everyone else, please check out my Patreon supporters in the description below. Also, check out my page on Patreon and see if you'd like to become my supporter as well. Now, this is episode 220. Like I said, it's about the evolution of I'm Gaming Podcast. So if you're a regular listener, you're probably noticing that I have a different background music and that my intro is different as well. And I think it comes in a perfect moment for me to kind of start further evolving the process of creating these episodes and how all sounds and feels, because like I said, 220, that's a lot of episodes, a lot of weeks, a lot of years now. And I would love to think about the podcast a bit more and see how I can evolve it further. Like I say often, every venture I take on is all about sustainability. How can I create something? How can I work on something in a sustainable manner? Not just in terms of ecology, I try to think about that as well, but also in terms of my effort and my focus, because if you can't do something in a sustainable, regular manner where duration can play all of the difference, it kind of usually dies out sooner or later. And I'm always against that option because I had the, let's say, misfortune of seeing things die off quite a bit through my professional and creative background. So I want to avoid that by all means on those ventures that I'm only working on that are purely mine. I'm Gaming Podcast is included, but even though you want to make something sustainable and kind of get into the rhythm of stuff, you also want to have the ability to have the option of seeing those things evolve as well. So I'm Gaming Podcast is evolving. A big thing that I'm also considering and thinking about is moving my podcast from only being on YouTube, only being an audio YouTube podcast, to other different podcast locations and, let's say, venues where people can listen to podcasts more in a easier manner than to simply have it on YouTube. However, again, I want to find a way to keep it sustainable, keep it something that I can continue doing on a regular basis and see how it all works in the long run. But for now, the thing that I'm changing is the background music, the intro, and the audio feel of the podcast as a way of starting that ongoing process of change and evolution. So hopefully it will continue to move in a direction that all of you find interesting and something that you can listen to and enjoy like you did so far. So this episode is basically only about that. It's a short glimpse back to the way that the podcast began, and it's a larger glimpse towards the future, towards future episodes, and the pretty far away goal of episode 300. It's going to happen in more than a year from now, actually nearly 2 years from now, but still it's something that I'm very much looking forward to, and I want to see I'm Gaming Podcast evolve further. Of course, it would not be able to evolve if it weren't for you guys. So big thanks to everyone who's listening, supporting, and staying in touch with I'm Gaming Podcast. I really, truly, and absolutely appreciate all of you. That's all for this episode. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here. If you'd like to support me, check out my Patreon page, check out my books on Amazon, check out my other videos, other I'm Gaming Podcast episodes. Easiest, quickest, cheapest way to support me is to, of course, to subscribe to my channel and be here for my new videos. That's all for me. My name is Ivica. Again, a big thanks to everyone, and I'll see you in precisely 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.